didn't go from rags to riches. I had like I came up gradually. I wasn't an overnight star. It took me a few years to get going. I worked every day, but I didn't do genius things right from the beginning. So I went through a lot to get where I am, and I appreciate it. It's what I hoped for.
In the 1990s, she wasn't just a model, she was the moment. Vogue once called her the most beautiful woman in the world. Designers fought for her. Photographers revered her. And when she famously said she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day, she didn't sound arrogant. She sounded like someone who had earned it. But behind the flashbulbs and magazine covers was a woman chasing more than fame. She was chasing the dream she had since childhood. Becoming Linda Evangelista. Unlike some who were discovered, Linda Evangelista chose fashion. She wasn't plucked from a mall or scouted by luck. She built her career from scratch, starting with $8 an hour bridal catalogs in Canada, saving every dollar to shoot test photos and get noticed. When she arrived in Europe, she didn't fit the mold. Too short, too unconventional. Most jobs went to taller, blonder girls. But Linda didn't quit.
I'm never late, never miss a plane, never sick, never unhappy, never hate the clothes. I always say I like them.
She cut her hair into a boyish crop and lost 15 out of 20 bookings. But a season later, every model wanted the same cut. That's the Linda effect. Once Vogue booked her, her rise was meteoric. She became a canvas for Steven Meisel, the legendary photographer who didn't just shoot her. He saw her. Together, they defined the visual language of 90s fashion. Intense, elegant, and untouchable. Linda didn't just wear the clothes, she became the fantasy. From Versace runways to George Michael's Freedom video, she was everywhere. But just as quickly as she rose, she disappeared. The vanishing. In a world that survives on visibility, Linda became invisible. Naomi was still closing shows. Cindy was launching skincare, Claudia was fronting campaigns. Linda, nowhere. No red carpets, no interviews, no whispers. Fans speculated, was she retired? Was she sick? The truth was far more painful and more human. The hidden years. In 2015, Linda underwent a non-invasive cosmetic procedure called cool sculpting, marketed as a quick fix to dissolve fat. But for Linda, it went horribly wrong. Instead of reducing fat, she developed a rare side effect called paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, PAH. Her fat cells didn't shrink. They multiplied and hardened. Her body changed in ways she couldn't control. Her arms bulged unnaturally. Her shape warped. And her identity, the one the world had worshipped, crumbled. "I can't even put my arms flat against my body," she once said. "The bulges forced them outward." The face that built her career now felt foreign, and so Linda disappeared, not from the industry, from herself. For over 5 years, she lived in near total seclusion. No mirrors, no photos, no events, not even the reunions of her fellow supermodels. Her son, unaware of her suffering, would say, "Mommy, do you remember when you used to be fun?" She felt like she had failed him too. The lawsuit and the silence. Eventually, Linda filed a $50 million lawsuit against the parent company of Cool Sculpting, citing disfigurement, emotional trauma, and lost income. The company denied wrongdoing, but the real damage was already done: psychological, emotional, and spiritual. And perhaps most devastating of all, the silence. There were no scandals, no meltdowns, no paparazzi drama, just a quiet unraveling.
I wanted to model because I was obsessed with fashion. I was obsessed with clothing. I just loved it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do.
A woman broken by the very culture she once helped build. Because in fashion, beauty is currency. And when that currency changes, the world stops calling. The return. In 2022, after nearly 7 years in the shadows, Linda stepped back in front of the camera. Not for a brand, not for a campaign, but for herself. She appeared on the cover of British Vogue, carefully lit, strategically posed, her jawline taped, her neck hidden. It wasn't the glossy, untouched beauty of the past. It was survival, styled in truth. "I miss my job so much," she said, "but I can't just take jobs like I used to, not with what I look like now." The world didn't call her flawless. They called her brave.
My second cancer I found on my own, and I insisted I wanted imaging.
And were you told, because you had already had a double mastectomy at that point, were told you're probably in the clear, it should be okay?
Correct. And I said, but can we just do imaging?
And so you did, and then they found...
I wanted imaging, and I went that day.
And you found something.
It came back in my pec muscle, my pectoral muscle, and invasive. And what we need to remember is if you find something, the earlier you find it, the...
But even then, they didn't see everything. A deeper battle. Just months after her return, Linda faced a new, terrifying chapter, a second breast cancer diagnosis. She didn't tell her friends. She didn't tell the industry. She barely told herself. "I had a bilateral mastectomy," she revealed quietly. "I thought I was clear, but it came back." Again, she withdrew. Not because she didn't feel beautiful, but because she didn't know if she'd survive. Through it all, one person remained by her side, Christy Turlington. "She was the only one who checked on me regularly," Linda said. In an industry where friendships fade with trends, Christy's loyalty was a lifeline. Redefining beauty. In 2023, Linda and Meisel released a photography book, a visual archive of her career, yes, but also a reclamation. "I wanted to be seen how I choose to be seen," she said, "not how they used to see me." No apology, no Photoshop, no return to the past. Just Linda, survivor, mother, woman, warrior. Because what she offered the world wasn't a comeback. It was a correction. She was once the face of beauty. Now she's the truth behind it. The legacy. Linda Evangelista was never just a supermodel. She was a mirror for every woman discarded as they aged, for every person who's ever looked in the mirror and not recognized themselves, for everyone who survived something the world couldn't see. When she stepped back into the light, she didn't ask for admiration. She asked for understanding. And in doing so, she redefined what beauty looks like. No longer perfection, but presence. Not gloss, but grit. Not fantasy, but truth. This wasn't a comeback. This was a revolution, and it had Linda's face on it, once again.